In this presentation, we will talk about the real role of business analysts in an organization. Why is this topic being discussed? Simply because repeatedly we hear the same or similar statements, such as, business analysts are just note-takers in requirements gathering. The requirements are gathered and used exclusively, or almost exclusively, for software development. The source of requirements information is mainly stakeholders just because they know everything, or should have all the answers. This is not because of a unique social circle. Misunderstandings are common between business people or even more sophisticated customers like bank professionals. Business analysis is one of those disciplines that everyone thinks they understand until they have to do it. Like a good detective, a skilled business analyst uncovers hidden problems, interprets unclear statements, and assembles a narrative that leads to smarter decisions. However, despite its importance, the role of the business analyst is often misunderstood, underestimated, or even mythologized. In this presentation, we will try to dispel at least some of the most persistent myths about business analysis and business analysts. Business analysts and their contribution. Explaining the basic functions of business analysts. Business analysts are often perceived by mistake as being solely concerned with gathering business requirements. In fact, business analysts play a key role in helping companies solve complex business problems, improve operational efficiency, and implement growth strategies. Their tasks and functions may vary depending on the specific company, but overall their impact on the success of the organization goes far beyond the initial documentation. The importance of collaboration for business analysts. A business analyst collaborates with other team members, including project managers, technical specialists, and clients. This collaboration can range from working on strategy to specific technological or operational solutions. Effective collaboration with different departments is critical for business analysts, as their insights help make informed decisions within the organization. The critical role of business analysts in project succession. Transparent and effective business analysis has a direct impact on positive project outcomes. The input of business analysts is critical as they facilitate communication and ensure that business needs are aligned with technical solutions. Learning the realities of business analysis allows you to understand its real impact on the success of the project, which in turn is key to developing more effective analysis methodologies. Business analysts as strategic partners in organizations. Business analysts are very much more than support staff. They are strategic partners who contribute to key business decisions and long-term planning, developing implementation plans that will enable the achievement of enumerated business goals. The importance of business analysts in strategic planning. Integrating business analysis into the strategic framework. Business analysts play a key role in developing business development strategies, strategic planning, providing data-driven insights that help make key organizational decisions and initiatives. A business analyst's job may include setting long-term goals, analyzing competitors, market trends, and assessing business risks. Importance of strategic input from business analysts. Including a business analyst's perspective in strategic discussions ensures that projects align with overall business goals. An important function of business analysts is to monitor results after changes are made to ensure that planned outcomes are achieved, which is another important part of the analyst's job. Improving strategic results with business analysis insights. The use of business analysts in strategic planning processes can improve results by leveraging their analytical skills and market insight. Business analysts help identify potential risks associated with business decisions, such as regulatory changes, competitive threats, and technological risks. Through such analysis, companies can better prepare for future challenges. Business analysts as catalysts for strategic growth. Business analysts drive innovation and strategic growth by identifying opportunities and recommending solutions based on in-depth analysis and research. Business analysts not only analyze the status quo, but also look for new solutions that can bring a competitive advantage to the client. This can include introducing new technologies, work methods, or innovative business models. Common misconceptions about the role of business analysts. The persistent myth states that business analytics staff are merely notaries collecting requirements. Requirements are collected and used exclusively for software development. The sources of requirements information are mainly business stakeholders just because they know everything. Reality: the changing landscape of business analysts' responsibilities. Like a good detective, a skilled business analyst uncovers hidden problems, interprets unclear statements, and assembles a narrative that leads to smarter decisions. However, despite its importance, the role of the business analyst is often misunderstood, underestimated, or even mythologized. Myth first, business analysis is just common sense. Some argue that business analysis is just an exercise in stating the obvious. Who needs an analyst to tell us that processes should be optimized, that customers like simplicity, or that poor communication is bad for business? Reality: if business analytics were just common sense, every company would run smoothly. In reality, businesses are complex, full of competing priorities, blind spots, and hidden inefficiencies. Business analysts have a methodical approach to uncovering problems, prioritizing solutions, and ensuring that decisions are based on facts, not hunches. When looking at a business process, the business analyst sees a problem that no one else sees. The business analyst adds value to the organization by tightening processes, eliminating waste, taking a lean approach, analyzing the problem, and proposing solutions. Common sense is good, but structured analysis is better. Myth second, business analysts are just note takers gathering requirements. Some people think that the job of a business analyst is simply to attend meetings, nod politely, and take notes of everything that is said like a conscientious court stenographer, and then collect the writings in one place. The real work, they assume, takes place elsewhere by real decision makers. The reality: if only it were that simple. Word gatherers is the center of confusion. Business analysts don't just document discussions, they translate chaos into clarity. In the process of gathering valuable information, they ask the right questions, challenge assumptions, and make sure every requirement makes sense. Their role is not passive, it is investigative, strategic, and sometimes even heroic. That gathering scenario does not include analysis at all. Without business analysts, projects become a spiral of scope creep, miscommunication, and avoidable disaster. Analyzing the information gathered, coming up with solutions to business problems, this is the core of a business analyst's job. Business analysts should not collect requirements, they want and need to analyze the situation, analyze the circumstances, assess what is going to happen, observe the process, ask questions, get relevant unbiased information, and only then generate requirements. Business requirements do not exist until the business analyst analyzes them. Myth 3. Business stakeholders know better what they want. Business analysts are an unnecessary, redundant element in the overall business structure. All the necessary information can easily be gathered from the business community and business stakeholders because they know all the details and circumstances of the business they run, manage, or oversee. Reality: the business community, all those people in the domain of the problem, do not actually have, want to have, or even think about these requirements as full functionality to solve the problem, non-functional aspects, description of the quality of the solution. Written document: business does not have formal requirements and never had. Only later did the concept of business requirements emerge, and even more later the concept of business requirements gathering. Business people don't want business requirements. What they want is a solution to their problem. Some examples of what they might want are increased sales, increased penetration into different markets, easier and better use of their website, to be able to perform their financial obligations without any errors, to implement the solution you need to choose. And that is their scope of work, not the business requirements. In fact, the business analyst's job is to help them define their problem, then develop a solution, and then implement the solution they have chosen. Myth 4. Business analysts only work on IT projects. Many people associate business analysis only with IT projects, such as gathering requirements for new software or improving existing systems. Reality: while business analysts are often involved in initiatives, their skills extend far beyond technology. Can you imagine if the ultimate solution to the problem you are facing has nothing to do with it? As has been proven repeatedly, the first thing to do is to look for a solution outside of it, and then look at it. Why? Because if you came out of it, you will be looking for its solution in the first place. The theory of the infinite hammer says if you have just a hammer only, everything looks like a nail. There may be situations where there is a much cheaper and less disruptive solution. An example would be rewriting a few job descriptions to redirect the workflow and thus solve the problem. If a business problem has been identified as a software or problem as opposed to just a business problem, the business analyst's job is to solve the problem whether it is a problem or not. You look at it first as a business problem and then as a potential its solution, not as a problem. When our goal is to write a requirements document rather than a solution to a business problem, we focus on the document, the user story, or the product backlog, not on the solution. Requirements are simply the means of the solution. Business analysts work on process improvements, strategy development, market analysis, and even company restructuring. Whether it is optimizing the supply chain, redesigning the customer journey, or introducing a new product, the principles of business analytics apply. A common thread? They bring logic and structure to decision making, regardless of the field. Myth 5. Business analysis is optional. Some companies consider business analysis to be a nice to have rather than a necessity. They assume that, with sufficient experience and intuition, decisions can be made without formal analysis. Reality: skipping business analysis is like building a house without plans. It can stand for a while, but at some point cracks will appear. Organizations that neglect proper analysis often face missed opportunities, wasted resources, and costly rework. A good business analyst does not slow down progress. They ensure that progress is meaningful, sustainable, and strategically aligned. Myth 6. Business analysts should have all the answers. People sometimes expect business analysts to walk into a room and, with a knowing smile, immediately diagnose every problem and recommend a solution. They imagine business analysts as omniscient business oracles. Reality: business analysts are not omniscient and do not pretend to be so. Their real skill lies in asking the right questions and extracting the knowledge that already exists in the organization. They facilitate discussions, align stakeholders, and guide teams towards informed decisions. If you want a fortune teller, go to a psychic. If you want a structured, data-driven approach to problem solving, talk to a business analyst. Myth 7. We live in an application economy, so all we need to do is connect the different applications. The solution is to generate requirements that extend user stories, user story, backlog items, etc. Programmers are more adept at asking questions and understanding the business, and the business is more willing, comfortable to work with technical people. It looks like there will be enough space to put someone like a good communicator in there. In many cases of the solution, the problem itself has been lost in these weekly increments, iterations. Everyone is focused on what needs to be delivered in that iteration, in that sprint. And so it goes on and on. We focus so much on the delivered product that no one looks at the bigger picture when all these 2-week iterations are put together. Do we have a definitive solution to our big problem? Would it fall right into the lap of the business analyst? That's what the business analyst needs to do: have a more strategic view, a more systemic approach, more critical thinking. Nobody asks the product owner or the people behind the product owner, why do you need this? Why do you need this particular thing? What's the problem this is going to solve, and could there be a better way to solve it? You can't eliminate all these questions, and that's the specialty job of the business analyst. It's time to dispel the myths about the skills needed for business analysis. What is the specific skill set required of business analysts? Let's start by clarifying the level of diversification of the skill set needed by analysts. Many people assume that business analysts have a single skill set. However, they need to have a diverse range of skills, including analytical, technical, and interpersonal. Analytical skills are essential for understanding complex business processes and identifying areas for improvement. Business analysts must be able to break down problems, evaluate data, and come up with solutions that align with business objectives. Key analytical skills include problem solving, critical thinking, data analysis to work with both qualitative and quantitative data, process mapping, risk analysis and mitigation to identify potential risks in a project or solution and find ways to minimize or avoid them. Business analysts need a combination of technical skills, particularly in understanding the technology that supports business operations. While they do not necessarily need to be deeply technical, a good understanding of how systems work and the ability to communicate with technical teams is important. Key technical skills include understanding of its systems and architecture, skill and data manipulation, knowledge of tools and software, modeling tools, agile, and Scrum methodologies. Although not always required, some familiarity with automation tools or basic scripting can help automate repetitive tasks or streamline workflows. Interpersonal skills are arguably the most important for business analysts, as they serve as a liaison between stakeholders, project teams, and other departments. Strong communication, collaboration, and negotiation skills are key to ensuring the needs of the business are met. Key interpersonal skills include communication, stakeholder management, negotiation skills, collaboration and teamwork, presentation and facilitation, conflict resolution. The role of communication skills in business analysis. Business analysts are often thought to work independently, but they need to communicate effectively with different stakeholders to ensure project success. As different stakeholders may have different opinions on how to proceed, business analysts need to mediate conflicts and seek consensus. The ability to manage and resolve conflicts constructively is a key interpersonal skill. General information on essential skills for business analysts. While many focus on quantitative analysis skills, qualitative skills such as empathy and active listening are equally important for understanding user needs. This can include identifying trends, generating insights, and making decisions based on the analysis of datasets. Familiarity with data analysis tools such as Excel, SQL, Tableau, etc. is often important. Essential skills for effective business analysis. Dispelling myths about business analysis skills. Many people think that business analysis is based solely on technical skills, but let's again highlight the obvious fact that effective analysis requires a combination of soft skills, critical thinking, and stakeholder engagement. Critical thinking as a key competency for analysts. It is often assumed that business analysts just collect data. However, critical thinking is essential for interpreting data and making strategic decisions. The ability to evaluate information from different perspectives, question assumptions, and make decisions based on evidence rather than intuition or preconceptions. General observations on the required skills for business analysts. While technical skills are important, soft skills such as communication and negotiation are equally important for successful collaboration in teams. A business analyst needs to be an effective communicator to clearly convey complex ideas to a variety of audiences, from technical teams to non-technical stakeholders. This includes both written and verbal communication. Business analysts often produce documentation, reports, and presentations that need to be clear and accessible. Often different stakeholders have conflicting needs or priorities. The business analyst must be able to negotiate and find a compromise that best serves the business. The significant role of soft skills in business analysis. Contrary to popular belief, successful business analysis is not just about data knowledge, it requires strong interpersonal skills to facilitate discussions with stakeholders. Understanding and interpreting stakeholder needs often requires careful listening, asking the right questions, and paraphrasing information to confirm understanding. Thank you for watching this presentation. Looking for more detailed information? Visit our website at https://graphfin.po. Here you will always find useful and varied information on other types of analysis used for business development, including scenario, financial, and investment analysis. We break down complex topics such as project management, business planning, financial modeling, and risk management into simple, easy-to-understand concepts and explain them in simple terms. Our business coaching for executives and business owners provides top-down strategic development for the company, which increases the motivation of every employee, boosting productivity and efficiency. We take a holistic approach to solving client tasks. Together, we will find an effective solution from our wide range of services the best for your business.